Hello and welcome everyone. It's another exciting, wonderful, amazing, whatever the word is, episode of IT Career in Australia channel. And tonight we're offering complimentary live LinkedIn, tech LinkedIn reviews and feedback sessions. So thank you everyone who sent us their profile in advance. Make sure have your questions ready. So, and as usual, thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Jana Martins, if you forgot. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you know the drill. You can connect with us on LinkedIn. And if you're watching us on LinkedIn, you can actually go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I go live every week on Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. You can also join my meetup group to make sure you register for upcoming events and know what's coming. And I also really advise, if you're in Melbourne, make sure 100% join my meetup group, because we're doing face-to-face events in Melbourne as well. So one is coming up on the 17th of November as well. So make sure to say hi in the comments, because if you're not saying hi, we don't know that you're here. And obviously, if you send your LinkedIn profile in advance, we want to know that you're here and and you're listening to the feedback. James is here. Hi, Jana. Hi, Jonathan. Thank you, James, for saying hi. Rahul is here. Thank you, Aditya here. Thank you, guys, for saying hi. And also, I think we have one more spot for one more LinkedIn profile. If you're really quick and you send me your profile on LinkedIn right now, so we might be able to feed it in at the end of the session. So not big promises, but we probably have time for one more. Thank you, guys, to saying hi. Quite a few people saying hi. Daryl's here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Anyway, without any further delays, we want to dive into it so that we have time to review everyone's profiles. First, quick introduction. I'm sure people who follow me for a while already know Jonathan and Ben, but just give us a quick refresher to introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jonathan Maltby. I'm a business and career coach. Been running my coaching practice for probably about a decade now. Love helping people find careers that give them a sense of purpose and fulfillment in their lives, but also helping them kind of reach that level of peak performance. So I do a lot of mindset coaching plus career strategies to help people really get to the top of their game.
Thank you, Jonathan. And Ben, over to you.
Thanks, Jana. Hi, everyone. Nice to be back again talking to your audience. Thanks for hosting this session. So yeah, my name is Ben. I'm a tech career coach. I've been doing that for around about 8 years. My current focus is actually government careers, and I'm the co-founder of pscareers.com.au, which is all about government careers. But I also still work in advising people on their tech profiles, tech branding, and generally all things tech career. So looking forward today to reviewing some of these profiles.
Perfect. And I think I just got a message for one more profile, one more spontaneous profile that we can include in the session. Alexis saying hi. Thank you for joining. Also, guys, those who already sent your profiles to us for this session, maybe put in the comments what sort of jobs you're looking for. That can also help to target the feedback a little bit, because maybe your profile is saying software developer, but you actually want to move to business analyst or something. Maybe just give us, just in case, let us know like what sort of roles you're looking for and if they're actually matching your profile. Anyway, without any further delays, I'm going to just bring our first profile on the screen, and we'll dive into the reviews, and also I'll be reviewing, hopefully give some general tips as well on what's happening on LinkedIn right now. Okay, so I'm going to give my 50 cents in the beginning. Here's the profile of Jatin. Look at this. Jatin actually went to Canva and did like a nice little banner with the name and number and everything. So make it really easy to contact him, get a good picture. So, really good first impressions. So we definitely can agree on that. So Jonathan, over to you for some more detailed feedback to Jatin.
All right. First thing that jumps out of me at this one, I love this profile, by the way. The first one, thing that really jumps, he's got some striking imagery. It's a good professional photograph. He's got a lovely background, and he's customized the background as well by putting that 16 years experience, solution architect. Probably use Canva to bring in that. I love it. I think it's in a sea of bland. This one is definitely going to stand out. The other thing that I think he's done really, really well is he's really capitalized on the 240 characters that you can use for exactly that highlight there. And he's really kind of thought, well, what would be the almost SEO optimized it. So if I was looking for a cloud solutions, I was looking for a AWS, or I was looking for an enterprise architect, I'm going to find this in this particular one. He's hit me hard between the eyes. I can with that real punchy headline in there as well. Moving on to his profile, actually about section, it is comprehensive. I don't think Jatin has left any stone unturned here. Hi there, and it's got a nice little emoji to start it off. The thing about this particular profile is it's rich with visuals, and LinkedIn doesn't do visuals very well, in terms of formatting. I think he's really capitalized on that. I'm a tech enthusiast, solutions architect. He's talked to me about what he is, what he's done, how long he's done it for, and then he's broken it down into background, tech skills, what I love, cricket enthusiast, fantastic. So I can see a little bit of the guy's personality coming in there by telling me what he loves. It's not just straight, boring facts of around his career. So, and his values is coming in there as well. So he's obviously put a lot of time and effort and thought into crafting a really strong brand on this. The only thing I would say is, hi there, if you're looking to solve your tech problem and need to see how it can be done, you've landed at the right place. I think whilst it looks good, it sounds good, it's a little bit vague because there's so many tech problems. I think if he was a bit more specific in exactly what tech problems he loves helping organizations solve, that might have had a little bit of impact. Just my personal preference. I love the rest of it because he talks to me. He's saying, I'm here to help you achieve the same. So I can almost imagine this guy standing in front of me, talking to me, but hey, I'm here to solve your problems, as opposed to just throwing a lot of facts and figures. I love this particular profile there. He's got some postings.
I just want to squeeze in on, guys, if you're thinking like, I'm not sure how to put all these images in my summary, you can just ask ChatGPT to do it.
Oh, really?
You can literally just copy and paste and say, hey, ChatGPT, can you add relevant images on in front of the paragraph and things like that. And actually, I must say that's quite a good job. I do it for my majority of my LinkedIn posts, just to kind of so do some visuals, and it works quite well.
I think it does, because it really makes it kind of pop if you do use some of those visuals in there. I go a bit old school and I just type in LinkedIn emojis into Google, and it just brings up a whole lot that I just go, oh, and I'll just copy and paste those over. And I really think if you're going to do postings, if you're going to do your profile, I like that approach. Even in your headline as well is good. It's part of your brand. Yeah.
It's cricket.
If I have a look at just going further down now, so he's got some posts. That's good. I love it when people post, because then you start getting engagement, and it really raises your visibility. Posting really grabs people's attention. Then under his experience section, hasn't put too much detail in there, especially what he's with but he's only been at Wipro for a very short amount of time. He's got a bit of skills in there. Might after, I know it's only been 2 months, he could probably put some things in there, but I'm sure he'll probably fill that out a little bit later. Acedo TV, full-time, he was there, solution architect. And I like it that he's actually gone into some detail and quantified it with some achievements in there as well. Led content migration, improved data accuracy by 20%. That's great. I think it's a really good, well-rounded sort of profile. He's covered a lot of the bases. He's got his volunteering in there further down and his skills. The only thing I would say about the skills, that he's got 81 skills in there. And this is a lot of things that people do. They they overemphasize too many skills. And as I always say, when you try to be everything to everybody, you become nothing to no one. So I would reduce the amount of skills in there. Just because you've done it and you've done it for a long time, but you no longer want to be associated with those particular skills, I would remove some and then just tighten those up a little bit there as well. But apart from that, I really like this profile.
And I think it's also a really good example here to mention to people who's watching. You can put the media in each of your experience as well. You can do the media, you can do links to the websites, you can do, you can embed some, just the video post and stuff. So it does kind of give a bit more information about your each of your job experience. And I know we're giving the feedback, but I just can't resist to also mention, guys, at the moment, it's just so much buzz about AI and things like that. And I just actually believe that with because there's just so many AI generated resumes right now. So it's so hard when you post a job, you get so many applications. It is kind of quite important to think about your LinkedIn profile and personal branding. So if before maybe not everyone look at each LinkedIn profile, I feel like now, because you're just getting bombarded with the resumes, you do go and look at the people LinkedIn profiles to find some differentiation, to find people personality. Otherwise, it's just too hard to filter what's true, what's not true these days. Ben, is anything you would like to add briefly about Jatin's profile that Jonathan hasn't mentioned?
Yeah, look, I agree with most of the points that Jonathan went to, I agree with one of the pieces of feedback. I really like the profile. I think it's really well executed. You can see the effort that's gone into it, and particularly that imagery, that impact from that lovely photo. It really counts for a lot. It's the first impression that someone's making with you. So that visual imagery is really important. I did agree with the feedback about the problem statement in the about section. So if I'm looking for, enterprise architects are very broad in what they do. They need to understand problems across the businesses and, all sorts of different domains. But depending on the intent that Jatin has, and this is where, as what Jonathan and I would explore that when you're talking to someone about their branding and what they're trying to achieve. That's what struck me is that sort of, I probably want a bit more definition about the specific problems that you're good at solving, and maybe a bit of track record as well, because you've been, in going through that experience section. That was another thing that struck me too there, is that I'd like to see maybe if you say you're a problem solver, talk about the types of problems you've solved recently and who you've solved them for, and put a bit of substance in there. But overall, excellent. I love the way the sections in the about area, it's been broken up, and this is what we love, when we're skim reading profiles to get an impression of people. We want to jump to the particular area that we're concerned with, like tech skills or background. And I love the fact we've got personality coming through there. And as we were just discussing, passion and personality are really hard things to get across in a CV, and it's hard to be authentic with those things as well. So having a bit of your personality is really important on LinkedIn, I think. One weird glitch for me, I'm using Firefox as a browser, and if you go down to the about section, and maybe I can share I can share a post of this, Jatin, with you, but I'm getting some weird, if you scroll down to the experience section, the little bullet points there are appearing as a strange character to me. There, yes, so those square boxes on my browser, which was Firefox, are showing as a weird kind of character. So I have seen that from time to time. You do have to be a little bit careful about the characters you're using. The only other super minor thing, but in people's backgrounds, people are going to a lot of trouble now with the background cover image up the top. It's great to see people doing that. Just be aware too of how that image looks on mobile, because mobile is going to compress all of that text, and a lot of the time it just becomes illegible. Once it gets to a certain size, it's kind of unusable. So I would think about that Yet another thing we have to think about, right? But how is it going to look when it's shrink down a bit? Just the last thing too, recommendations. So Jatin's got a whole bunch of like 10 or more great recommendations on your profile. That's something you need to accumulate over time. As you go through your career, take the time to send people those recommendation requests and slowly, build that reputation as part of your profile. But Jatin's just been very comprehensive there on using, all the elements that you could add to the profile are there. So it's a very well executed profile.
Perfect. We almost have like a great example to start with for everyone, for everyone to follow. Carlos saying Jonathan is a world-class coach. If you can work with him, do it. Hey guys, I'm fans of Jonathan here.
Awesome.
And Matt saying what Carlos said. Here you go.
Thanks, Matt.
Let's jump to the next one. So Mankaran, so I kind of like how, everyone now making effort to put the good banners. Like I remember like half a year ago, people like wouldn't put banners. Now, everyone onto it. Ben, let's start with you this time. Like what's the main points for money to improve?
Yeah, sure. So initial first impression is great. You can see the effort there. I like the photo. I like the smile. I probably like that cropped in a little bit more to just get a little bit more of that connection with your face and your smile as my first sort of visual impression of you. But I like it. I noticed American spelling in the. Sorry, I'm just a bit pedantic about that, but specialized with a Z there. For Australian market, it bothers me. It probably doesn't bother other people, and that's fine. But just make sure you do UK spelling with your spell check of all your content here and on your resume, right? But I like the intent there. I like the messaging, product manager, and there's a specialization there. So creating that value, and this is a principle that you want to do, especially for your job seekers, is creating that value proposition for you as where do you fit? Be specific. I'm a product manager in fintech and cybersecurity, and AI. So that's, a narrow and valuable brand that Mankaran is leading in here with, right? It's the first sentence on the whole profile. And it's echoed in the headline, which is great. I would probably, and again, like depending on the intent, like what's Mankaran got to do at the moment. If you are looking for a job, I'd say, please put product manager in the headline so people know that's who you are. It's a digital product. It's not quite close. We want to be exact. So the job title you're seeking next or job titles should be in your headline if that's your goal. And you can use more. There's 240 characters there. So again, like if you're wanting to be found, and especially words like cybersecurity, fintech, B2B to C, very good specialist keywords to have in your headline. So you get found by recruiters, because with this market the way it is, people are not wanting to advertise roles. They're getting really great long lists of candidates for roles by headhunting through LinkedIn and finding top quality candidates on the market. So you want to be one of those people. Down in the about section, I think it's good. There's a strong value proposition there in that first sentence again, where being specific about where Mankaran fits into the organization, what he does. I'd probably like to take more advantage of that whole about section, just like we saw with Jatin has done a fantastic job of that. Expand out, talk about some projects. And I like the way there were distinct sections in Jatin's profile. You can use little lines. You can have headings and capital letters. I quite like that as well. That stands out really well. But definitely take advantage of that. Your about section can basically look like page 1 of your resume. So highlights, key skills, you can really take advantage of this. 2,500 characters you can use there.
Featured section. I think we didn't see featured section on Jatin's profile. That's something Jatin can add. have
Yeah,
a
great
featured
to see people taking advantage of featured posts and positioning yourself as an expert. So if you're talking about product management in the fintech space, having a post that's featured media or a post specific to that domain or role or project or product is really essential to sort of position you as an expert and build your reputation. So good to see people doing that.
And yeah, feature section, you can add your own post, but you can also add the link to the your website, media. So you can actually, do a lot of things in that feature section to make sure that the main things you want to bring people attention to, it's there before they scroll down. So quite powerful feature.
Look, the big thing I would probably talk about with Monkarun, if the target is to get a job as a product manager right now, I would be doing something with the experience section to put in, if he's currently studying, to put in something there. And there's a bit of a hack you can do. You can actually add your current study as your current experience. So you could do, for example, student, masters of whatever it is, and then in brackets, you could put product manager. So what that's doing is actually giving you the current job title of product manager as the current entry on LinkedIn. But it's also sort of telling a story in a way. Like it is clear when we start to read through that Monkarun's at Deakin University, but we can make that more obvious, and we can make the location that will actually change the current location as well, and just telling more of a story. So I think that's something that a lot of people or anyone who's studying can actually do. And it's really powerful to have. I mean, that's one of the best job titles that he can have as the current job title. But we might need to just tell that story of that he's in Australia, and put some, some dates and some details around the current, his current journey in his career. Let's put it that way.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So Deakin University. So you can tell from here that, but you need to really look for it. Okay. Jonathan, just briefly, if you would like to add something to Manny.
Yeah, a couple of things. I like it that he's got a nice image, and he's got that background, and he's got some text in that background. But what I think it is missing out on is actually, because the algorithm can't read text that's embedded in a message. I would take some of that text out that he's got on that background image and actually put it into his headline, like that B2C to B2B2C. I would put that like Ben was saying in there as well. I'm not sure what purpose having Deakin University in your headline is. I'm struggling to understand what's the sell, because that's your headline. That is your quintessential brand. When I'm looking at that, I'm going, does he work for Deakin University, or is he studying at Deakin University? I'm not sure what the purpose of having that in there is. I do like the photograph, though. I like it when people smile in their photographs. I always say, look, you're not going to prison. It's not a mugshot. Smile in your photograph. Show the whites of your eyes, because that's where people really connect. So I think, digital product at program, ProgCap, sorry. I'm not sure what purpose that fits. I think that's a wasted opportunity to capitalize on his brand statement, because by default, LinkedIn grabs, it creates your headline for you by your current position and your current organization where you're working for. But, I think you should go beyond there. So I think if he took some of the elements from the text that he's got in his background image, merged it in with his headline, it will probably be more impactful. Just going about the about section, I want to know, he says products and solving problems. I want to know what problems you can solve. The more specific you are in your headline, the more people can go, I need that person. That's a problem we have. That's a problem I'd like to have solved. So if you can actually tell people exactly what problems you love to solve and that you're good at solving, then I think you're going to be more specific. You're also, it helps people. It also helps them kind of amplify their value that they bring to an organization as well. And I think that's really kind of important. I think what he's got there is okay, but I think it can be improved on. And he said he's passionate about driving innovation. Like, talk about that innovation. Go into that passion more. Show the personality, I think, more in there as well. On the featured section, glad that he's using the featured section. Unfortunately, the featured section, the last post it looks like it's 4 months old. If you're looking for a job, then you want to be posting more regularly. It's a good post, by the way, but post more regularly. Don't leave it 4 months, especially if you're looking for a job, because your job here is to gain as much visibility so opportunities can come and find you. When you become visible, you become valuable. So posting regularly, especially if you're looking to grow your career, I think that is vital, because when you start posting, your connections become your audience. They're not just your network anymore. They're consumers of your content. What else can I say there? Let's just go back there.
I mean, we probably need to jump to next profile.
Sure.
Yeah, just going through like if
No
you
worries.
have any additional things to Ben. So just cautious about the time so that we make sure we go
all good.
through,
Yeah, that's the things
everyone.
Yep.
Yeah, so next one with Oshi. And Jonathan, we'll start with you this time for the review, and Ben can add a few things. Yes, I guess the first impression as well. Like, I'm pretty impressed how like everyone doing well now with their photos and the banners. Like, people really pick up the game, even from like 6 months ago. So, Jonathan, over to you.
I liked this one. It's a great photo. She's smiling in the photo. She's maximized her background. She's got a bit of design and the X of experience in there, designing for humans. I liked that. And she's got emojis stuck in her headline as well. So there's a lot of attention grabbing stuff in there. I think that's great. Product design, focus on human-centric, data-driven experience and strategy. That's good. I like that. I'm a product designer with 6 years of experience in the domains of project management, fitness. I'm just having a look through there. Sustainability. So there's lots of nice little emojis. There's a lot of little stuff going on there. But the only thing that I'm a little bit confused in is where she says, I'm a senior UX designer. She's senior UX designer at IFS, but then earlier on she goes, I'm a product designer. So there's a little bit of a mismatch there. Maybe if it's a product designer and UX/UX designer, because product designer and UX designer are separate things. But she has got there product designer, focusing on human. Okay, that's a good. Then she's got, I'm a product designer with 6 years experience, and then she's got all that. And then I like it how she's separated that out with a nice line underneath that. As I said, LinkedIn doesn't always do a good job, but she's got around that by really breaking it up. She's taken the time to get into that. I specialize I love that. I specialize in interaction design, UX evangelizing, and work to improve collaboration with teams. I think she's done a good job. She's done a good job of putting that together. My values.
Also saying, I want to switch to product designer.
So okay, that's a reason. All right.
That's the reason to put it this way. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Brand yourself to where you want to go, not necessarily where you've come from. So what if you want to get into product design, really kind of amplify that product design thing. Then take out that senior UX designer right at the top, because it's not an alignment. If I'm looking for a UX designer, I'm going to approach you for UX design jobs. You've just told us now that you're looking for product jobs. So you definitely want to change that. Make your brand amplify where you want to go and tell them what you're looking for. So if you want to get into product design or product development, amplify that more than anything else, because you've led with senior UX design. So that's a good bit of insight into there. She's done some posting, so that's good in the last week. That's good. And then gone into experience and used that section up quite well. I like that there is some, I like the words that they've used. Led. So these are active words. I led that, I conducted, I improved, I led again. So that's good. Revamp. So it's really kind of action words that this person has used to describe what they've been doing. Got some freelancing work in there. Yeah. That's good as well. Yeah, that's my feedback on that one.
Yeah, also have the passion project on Instagram.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah, and the freelance thing. Ben, anything you would like to add for Oisin?
Yeah, look, I'm really impressed by this profile. So well done, Oisin. It's really terrific. Just with it's a great visual impression. Again, with that just be mindful of how your banner looks on mobile. That text is going to display. That text is already quite small, so that's going to shrink down. Maybe if you wanted brand recognition on those 3 logos in the bottom right-hand corner, they're going to be quite small on mobile. But look, it's a very trivial, pretty trivial sort of point. But just be aware that when you apply for roles, the recruiters might be using mobile as their first point of call to screen your profile. So it's worth a consideration. And similar, I know I'm probably going to sound so pedantic for saying this, but if you scroll down to the About section, I really like the use of that line there across. But when you view that on mobile, often it wraps around. So it looks a bit silly. You get like 4 lines of dashes. So you can actually get around that by using a shorter, I think like 40 character line, and then it will look good on mobile and on desktop. A bit super pedantic there. The value proposition here. So I'm a product designer with 6 years of experience in the domains of. I feel like that could be, it's very broad, it's covering a lot of bases for someone with 6 years of experience. And I just wondered whether, if I was looking at value proposition for product design, I'd maybe be interested in how many projects you worked on, who the clients were, how many products have you been involved in the launch of, maybe what was the most successful one. So I just think and look, I love this profile, don't get me wrong. I just think for positioning yourself as a product designer, that's there's 12 things in that list or more, whereas you could actually create a more powerful, engaging sentence, probably with just a few more facts and numbers in that initial sentence, and then talk about I've worked across all these different areas, which is great. But maybe mention number of products, the size of teams you've worked with, countries, you've got global experience, I think, which is really cool too. So 6 years of experience, including Australia, Europe, and Sri Lanka, or working with clients around the globe in 12 countries. So I think that you could add a bit more substance to sell yourself as a product designer there. But it's really quite a minor point. And I think just the current location wasn't clear, and you've got Melbourne as the location. Your current role doesn't have a location. So I'm kind of curious about your situation. So look, maybe that's something you can explain further in the CV or cover letter, when you're applying for roles, is talk about, what your visa status is, where you are you settled in Australia, that sort of thing. But I'm just kind of left, if I was just looking at your profile by itself with those sort of signposts, it's kind of like, well, I'm not 100% sure what your intent is right now. And you said in the chat you want to be a product designer. Is that a product designer in Australia? Is that the next step you want to make? Maybe there's a way to sort of get that message across in the profile.
Maybe mentioning it to About session or something. Okay.
Just one other minor point. It's just there is a lot of information in the experience section. And I think it may be, and I've noticed this with some of the other profiles as well. Minor point, but there's a lot there, if you expand and read all the job and all the different ads. And I think, look, it's the older the role, diminishing level of detail, and you really want to just stick to key achievements, key highlights. It shouldn't be a list of all the duties you had. It's not like a job description. It should really be highlights, and then it just makes it, I think when people skim down through that and they see a big block of text, they're less likely to engage with it than if it's just 3 or 4 bullet points. Then it's quite, higher impact.
Makes sense. There's a question from James regarding that, that you guys mentioned about be the person who you want to be hired for. James asking, doesn't experience matter in a getting job? If you don't have a current experience in the job you want to get into, wouldn't it make sense to be hired in the role you can do and look within the company and advance from there? So so how do you tackle this? So, you suggested, for example, here to Oshi, do more, make a more accent to the product design. But if it's not her core experience, but I understand also, she want to be discovered by that. And when we're looking through LinkedIn Recruiter, that's the keywords you want to be found for. And then it's basically up to you if you can prove that you can be, do that role as well. So what is your, thoughts on that?
I think you're in control of the story. You are the master of the narrative. And if you want people to think certain things about you, then it's all about what you amplify. I think a good LinkedIn profile is aligned to where you want to go, and you're curating your skill, your experience, and your projects all to be aligned. You want them to think, this person is fit for this particular role. You don't want to put in so much other stuff that people walk away from and going, well, what is this person? They're a little bit of this, they're a little bit of that, they're a little bit of this. I don't quite know. You want to be able to make them think the least amount of burn the least amount of calories in their brain when they think. And that's about you really harnessing the power of words in your LinkedIn profile to create the impression or the perception that you want people to have of you. So your LinkedIn profile is not your whole complete story. It is there to mold people's perception of what you are in relation to where you want to go. So this is about being strategic with your words as well. Can you put up that message back on again? I just want to have a look at it again, what James said.
I was just saying more, does it make sense hire for a role that you can do and then look within the company and advance from there?
Absolutely. Your first port of call, if you want to change career or move up, is see if there's opportunities to get involved in projects that are outside your current domain within the organization that you're working for. It is the path of least resistance. So that means often going outside of your role, putting your hand up and saying, I'm really interested in doing this. Is there any opportunity for me to get involved in doing this inside my current role inside the organization? And that shows ambition.
But it's quicker if you just get hired for the job you want.
Well, it can be. It can be. But if you haven't got the relevant experience, making that jump into another role to try and get that experience can be difficult, as opposed to seeing if there's opportunities to do that within your current organization.
Yeah. I'm cautious about the time, guys. Let's do quick reviews. And also, Daryl is saying, if you want a bad example or a good laugh, check out mine. So maybe we'll spend 2 minutes.
All right, Daryl, I'll check out Daryl Carr.
And the Daryl's example as well. Dima is saying, is YouTube Live doesn't have a voice questions? Not yet, but I'm sure soon, it will be option. But no, you can't ask voice question on YouTube Live. Okay, just quickly to Jonathan, quick review for Rahul.
Rahul, okay, software developer intern. My first thing is that what you are, a software developer intern? That you've missed an opportunity there to brand yourself if you're going just for talking about the role that you're in right now. You're not your role and you're not the company you work for. You're much more than that. Focus on building a really good, strong brand. What are you exactly? You've got, as Jana said, 240 characters there, and you've used a tiny amount of that. You've just told people where you work. You haven't really branded yourself. I think that's a missed opportunity there. Rahul. Then you've talked about our team. So you've basically done a great role of promoting MVP Studio, but nothing yourself. I hope they're paying you for the free advertising. Is all I can say for that. In that particular space, I would really start looking at what are you bringing to the table. You've done that little bit of that continuous learning, problem solving. Like, what problems do you love to solve? So many people say, I love problem solving. Be specific. Be specific. A vagueness is the biggest enemy of a strong personal brand, is what I say. And this is really branding. All of LinkedIn is just a branding. You're putting yourself on show here. So, if you've got a great qualification, Bachelor of Applied Information Technology, go into a lot of that sort of stuff. Why did you decide to get into this? What do you love to solve? In other words, I would really kind of work on that about section a lot more. Experience, MVP, internship, too vague. I mean, if that's really the only experience that you've got, then you really want to amplify what that is, fatten that out a lot. Also, I'm not sure I'm seeing this there, but if you recently graduated or you're working, put in some of your projects. Work on, especially as a software developer, talk about those projects, and you can add that in as a section as well. If I'm looking at, okay, I'm glad you got your GitHub account in there as well. So that's really good. I just went under his contact details to see if you're a developer, make sure you have links to your GitHub with up-to-date README files that people can actually see what you have been doing and how your software works. Let's have a look. What else? Yeah,
I just realized I'm muted. You can also copy your GitLab account to your About section as well, so that people can easily find it without clicking to that contact info. So whatever you want people easily find, so just put the links in the About section so people can just easily click on it.
Yeah, that's my feedback on that one.
Perfect. Okay, so I think, Rahul, you can really actually just go to Oshi's profile and have a look how she did, like some of your freelance work and content create, and, put some personal projects into the thing. Next one is Danush. Ben, over to you.
Yeah, thanks. So love the photo and the background. Nice image there. So that's a really nice visual, strong impression. The headline, I think there's a missed opportunity here. Again, there's 240 characters. Depending on your intent, what is that next role? Where are you at the moment? Are you just building a network? Are you looking for an internship? Are you looking for a role when you graduate? Put those job titles in there. You've got SDE in there, which is great. It's probably worth expanding that acronym out and looking at anything else that what do you want to do next? What are you going to be stepping into? So as Jonathan was saying, create your brand around where you want to be, and your headline is that first port of call here. But yeah, like the visual imagery. I find the About section, just that second sentence in there is a little bit generic. I'm committed to innovation, I collaborate, I'm into continuous learning, professional growth. It sounds like, I'm not going to accuse you of using ChatGPT, Danush, but you may be an eloquent writer by your own merits. But it's quite generic, and I think you've actually got some really interesting experience, which you do go on to talk about. But I'd rather talk about what you're doing next, what you're specializing in, what you're passionate about, and make it authentic by putting in some specific details in there. If you are into collaborative projects, list them out in the About section, put some details in, put a section about the projects you've worked on, and talk about what you're passionate about. I think further down, and this is where you can, because your last role here is in Bangalore, right? What you can do is you can put your studies in you could put a current role as student, Master of Information Technology, brackets, SDE engineer, or brackets, software engineer, to give yourself a current job title in Australia that sort of updates people what you're doing in that timeline. I mean, look, it is pretty obvious, right? That you're currently studying at Deakin. It's in your headline. But that is a bit of I think it's a winning hack to have that in there in the experience section, to signpost where you are right now and to give that job title in there. And you can also, it doesn't matter, but you're probably looking at that and going, well, I'm just duplicating what's there already. It doesn't matter if there's a bit of duplication, because what it's doing is positioning you in Australia, and it's giving you a current job title, which is what you want. So I think that's, it's worthwhile doing. I just wondered if you might have any projects to add, any featured media, And everyone, all the good profiles we looked at today, I was really impressed that people are using that featured media. That really, people are putting a lot of effort in. I'm quite impressed by this batch of profiles. So look for an opportunity to do that.
We had the good examples. I feel like, just connect with people like, Jatin and Oshi and look at their profiles. That's and even, so looking at other people's profile and see what they're doing is just a simple hack, I guess. Moving on, Jonathan, some feedback to Dipashri.
All right, let's have a look. First thing I did is half her head is cut off. I'm looking at the photograph. So it's probably nice face, nice smiley face. I always think that's good, but it's kind of cut off. So maybe center that where that photo is a little bit more like, in the middle of the photo there. Again, missed opportunity in the, that's a nice background. I can see you hovering over the background. That's good. It's nice. It's striking. Again, missed opportunity in the headline. Student of Technology, Sydney DevOps. Oh, you got 240 characters. Come on, exploit that as much as you possibly can. Brand. Talk about who you are, what you do. Why should someone click on your profile? Because often when you do a search, only your photograph and very limited information comes on. Think of it as, what can I do to get people to click? Is student at University of Technology Sydney going to make people want to click into my profile and read more? Probably not. Okay, so you really want to go in there. If you're DevOps, talk about the DevOps. Go into some of the things that you've been doing.
And so I think Dipashri is saying that she's looking for DevOps engineer roles.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the reason she's using the DevOps. Yeah.
Talk about some of that DevOps engineering technologies that you've kind of used, especially in that, and think search engine optimization. Think keywords here. I mean, what DevOps deployment tools have you been using, or any other cloud computing technologies or anything else in that headline. The more when recruiters use their packages, highlights come up on your profile, and the more highlights that come up, the better it is that they're going to want to click into that. So think, how can I highlight more of the relevant jargon and technologies that I need to kind of be promoting? So I think that's an underutilized area there. Let's have a look at the DevOps enthusiast. Are you a DevOps enthusiast? I mean, I'm enthusiastic about a lot of things, but I don't put it in there. So I would really kind of think, be more than a DevOps enthusiast. Enthusiastic is great, but go into the tech stuff. Data analytics, data monitoring, observability. Committed to continuously expanding my technical skills. Pretty much the same as what the last person that we spoke about, that continuous learning. It's generic again, but I can sense that you're far more than what you're putting into your profile right now. Keen on learning to build and manage relationships, customer success. Again, very, very generic in that. In that, I would really start working on that. Okay, so underneath, strong foundation, Splunk, New Relic, Kubernetes, all of that sort of stuff. That's really good. That is good that you put in those keywords in there, because that's going to come up in those search when people recruiters or hiring managers do searches in there. So I would really fatten that up. And one of the things that I think a lot of people are missing is a great backstory. What is it about, software engineering or technology? Like, how did the story, people love storytelling. And I think the more the story and the more of your personality that you put into your about section, the more people are going to want to connect with you and go, oh, this person sounds interesting. So put some more of your story into that there. Experience, just having a look under there. One thing I did, so there we go. 5 days ago, they did look at that. They've done a little bit under the activity. They've posted where they've been. If you go to meetups, you know what the biggest thing that connects with people, that if you really want to boost your profile, selfies at networking events, and then you're posting it up, say, had a great catch up with X amount of people here, loved that, and then tag some people in there as well, because it shows you which circles you're moving in as well, and even tag the event organizers in that, especially if you've connected with them on LinkedIn too. So that's a good opportunity.
And people remember, and also
Yeah.
it's actually when organizers see that you're posting some photos from the event. It's nice for organizers because you're sharing their content, and it's more opportunity. The organizers will remember you. Then you come next time. They remember your LinkedIn profile, because imagine organizer have like 50 people every time. They're not gonna remember everyone. But it's about again being memorable, building this relationship, and that because people do get jobs from Meetup. It's it's a fact. It's a fact,
All the time. And like I know so many people that have come. That's where the hidden job market lives, in those meetups. If you're in technology and you're not going to regular meetups, just find the ones that have the best beer and pizza. I always say, So meetups is really where it's happening. And if you're in you should be going to those quite regularly, at least one a week if you are actively job hunting. And by the way, if you're a student, this is my biggest thing. If you're still studying, don't wait until you've graduated to build your network. Build them now that you can tap into them when you have graduated and you're ready to find your first job. And that means networking and going to all those events now. Don't wait till you've graduated to start networking. Start now, going to those meetups. Just in terms of their experience, you were an info technology administrator. I would go into a little bit more detail there, because you haven't had much experience and you're still a student. Go and amplify what you have got. The devil is in the detail, as they say. So go into that. System engineer as well. Go into some more detail there, and add some of those projects in too. That's my feedback for that.
Let's have a look to that. I know we're running out of time. We have actually one more profile that's been sent to me, but we also was really curious to look at the Daryl's profile. He reckons he has a horrible one. Let's just do a quick look and see how bad is his profile, compared to all our participants today. Oh my God, Daryl, no banner. Here we go. We're obviously gonna do a few things just on the go. Ben, what strikes you when, I know it's like really quick, but what strikes you when you look at Daryl's profile?
Yeah, I mean the photo's nice. Obviously, yeah. Background, headline. There's not much detail there, right? So if you're, and I don't really know anything about what you do, I should know something from reading that headline, right? So if you are the builder of the Journey One community, or you're the founder, or maybe this is what's the intent of your profile? And every one of you guys should be thinking about the intent of your profile, right? And it's not always about finding a job. It might be building your network, right? It might be building a community. So explaining in that headline, I should have some reason if it's a community of people that I have some interest in, or a topic I have some interest in, then that headline should kind of engage me, right? So looking for a bit more information there.
Jonathan, feel free to jump in if something's striking to you.
Yeah, I think given exactly what Ben said, give me a reason to click on your profile. I mean, I have this thing called the fight the so what factor, which is like if somebody reads something and goes, oh, that's very nice, but so what? Yeah, if I'm looking at I love the photo. It's a good photo. You look like a very distinguished professional. Yes. Good photo there. Experienced architect and builder of professional communities. So what? What's in it? People are always thinking, what's in it for me? If I read this and going, well, how is this relevant? Where is the value in that? So I think you're missing a potential value statement in there, like helping organizations achieve A, B, and C by solving X, Y, and Z problems, or something like that. There's two ways to kind of do a good headline, I believe. One is to do a power state, what I call a power statement. So that's creating this is what I am, this is how I help companies and why you should care. Or some people use more of a bullet point kind of format with that, that vertical divider between different things. And that's another way to do it. That's more of a keyword rich approach. yeah, that's kind of the stuff that I've got to say about that one there. And I like it in the about section, key skills and competencies. You don't often see people putting that all up front. I haven't really got a problem with that. I think that's all right.
That value proposition there in the sentence, I'm a professional architect with 30 years of experience. That's why you would be very interesting to connect with or valuable to a company, or, I probably would like something like that. And like, I call that your value proposition. I'm a solution architect with 30 years of experience. That's a reason why I would engage with your profile, right? So to me, I think that should be up the first sentence in the about section, and then you can have your list of skills. But look, I think it still works there as well.
But I think it does make sense, Ben, to move it, because if you're talking about when you're looking in Sales Navigator on the Recruiter and you're doing the search through those LinkedIn platforms, it only will show you like, few sentences. And if, you really need to think about what's these 2 lines you want people to see straight away when they're doing the search. Yeah. We're just scrolling quickly through.
I mean, if I look at what he says, I'm a professional architect, substantially 30 years. I'm not seeing anything that differentiates you from any other, architect. You're sounding exactly like every architect. Find your point of difference. Find your, what they call your unique selling proposition, your USP. And what is it that you bring to the table? How do you lead organizations from pain to gain through all of that expertise? Now, one of the things that you have done is you have really kind of explained, you do webinars, conferences, you're really into that community development. I think that is a definite point of difference. I think you want to amplify that a little bit more. Like, what is the why behind that? And how do you contribute towards your industry? That is really, really important. As well. So that's good to see that there. Maybe talk about why you do that. How does that help the community? What is it that drives you and that you're passionate about in creating these communities? Because people who do create communities and contribute towards communities, their value is high. So we really want to be amplifying that value that you can bring to organizations.
Makes sense, guys. And we only have 3 minutes. We promise Aditya to have a look because he just sent us the profile. Just like 30 seconds to Aditya. I mean, I think the first thing that strikes, it's that positioning. I mean, on the mobile, probably it will look all right. But on the desktop, you need to definitely swap and make the banner basically mirror image. Anything in Aditya profile that's not what we mentioned. Yeah, so we already, I guess, mentioned about the headline and things like that. Anything, actually not looking into the camera, it's bothers me. I know some people don't care, but I definitely prefer pictures that look at the camera because you get that sort of, immediate connection. And
I like the portfolio link that Aditya's
yes.
Up there. So yeah, that's something essential for you guys, developers, to have your portfolio there.
And now you actually can do the link, even if you don't. If you even have a normal LinkedIn profile, you don't need to have a premium to have a link. So you can actually put the custom link with the normal LinkedIn profile. So yes, so make sure if you have a link, make sure to put it in there.
I like that. I like that he's got a call to action. Check out my Django portfolio in his headline, and then underneath that is there. That's a nice one. That's a call to action, which is good. And then he's got his website, his portfolio website in there at the bottom there. And learning. Oh, look, you know what I like about this? When I'm not coding, I enjoy trekking, listening to music, and learning Japanese. That, you see, that is brought more to the table than just the technical sort of stuff. I'm starting to get more of a rounder picture of what this person is all about.
Yeah, it's got a very friendly tone, and yeah, showing a lot of personality, which is nice, right? Yeah.
Yes. Totally running out of time. Guys, Daryl, actually, that's probably a really good tip for you to make sure some of the link of your website there, coming back to that. But Aditya, the good news, you can always reach out to Ben and Jonathan on LinkedIn for more tips. And you can see the Ben's new website as well, mytechcareer.online. And Jonathan Malby, you can just Google and get to the Jonathan website, and there is all this option there to book a free quick call to get some tips and tricks. So guys, if you feel like you want to reach out, feel free to reach out to Ben and Jonathan offline after this call. And I'll make sure I put the links on their websites underneath this video, so you can easily find it and come say hi, or just hi on LinkedIn as well. So, you know, we're always there. We're all on LinkedIn. So feel free to add and connect and ask more questions. Anyway, I just really abruptly finished this session, but it's already 6:30 and I really don't want to go over the time. And the one thing I forgot to say, it's a topic for next week. And the topic for next week is you're a software developer, what's next? So that's basically for all the software engineers out there who are not sure what actually they do, what the hell they're doing next with their career. So we're going to discuss it and maybe give you some good ideas. You know, maybe you don't need to code for the rest of your life and can look at the different options. Or maybe you do want to code for the rest of your life, but you need to position yourself a little bit differently. So basically, make sure if you're a software engineer, next Wednesday session definitely for you. Some people saying thank you guys for joining me, and the replay is always available on the YouTube channel as well. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Jonathan. I'll see everyone next week.
Bye.